So in last lecture we discussed about the multiple correlation coefficients, and we have seen that multiple correlation coefficient is nothing but it is a correlation between a variable x1 and the linear combination of the vector x2. Okay? So if the linear combination of x2 is denoted as the beta 2 transpose x2, then it is simply a correlation between x1 and the estimate of beta 2 transpose x2. This is nothing but the multiple correlation coefficients, and you denote it as a 1 bracket 2 3 up to p. So that we have seen in the last lectures. We also obtain it has the form rho 1 2 3 up to p is equal to, it is a square root of sigma 1 2 sigma 2 2 inverse sigma 2 1 divided by sigma 1 1, where sigma 1 1 is nothing but the variance of x1, and sigma 1 2 is a covariance between, x1 and x2 transpose. Sigma 2 1 is nothing but covariance between x2 and x1. Okay, likewise.
सर आपका स्क्रीन विजिबल नहीं है।
अच्छा, okay, now it is visible.
यस सर।
So this is where you can find out the correlation between the x1 and x2. Sorry, this is x2 transpose, this is x1 x2, sigma 1 to equal to. Okay. So this is a partial correlation coefficient, is a correlation between the x1 and the some linear combination of x2. As I said that x is a vector which has the p component, and we have partitioned this particular vector into the two parts, one having only x1, that is one element, and the rest of having a p minus 1 element, and we write them as x1 x2 vector. So in this way, okay, and if I'm interested to find out the correlation between the x1 and some linear combination of x2, so it is nothing but multiple correlation coefficient. Okay. Now there are some properties of multiple correlation coefficients. We have seen the various definitions. So one of the property is that the multiple correlation coefficients is zero, which implies that sigma 1 2 equal to 0, because sigma 2 2 inverse is not 0. Why? Because it is invertible matrix. Sigma 1 1 is a variance, it is also not 0. So this quantity becomes 0 if and only if either sigma 1 2 or sigma 2 1 is 0. Okay, so this is the easily you can show. Another, so when you say that sigma 1 2 equal to 0, it means it is a covariance between the x1 and x2. is 0. And covariance between x1 and x2 is 0. It means that the x1 and x2 are linearly independent. So that means whatever the element of x1 and x2 has the whatever the element, they all are independent with x1, then we said this. So it means that if x1 is independent of the x2, x3, xp, then their multiple correlation coefficient is 0. Now second thing is that when you say that the multiple correlation coefficient is taking value 1, if it takes value 1, which implies 1 minus rho square 1, 2, 3 up to p is 0, which implies 1 minus this is sigma 1 2 sigma 2 2 inverse sigma 2 1 upon sigma 1 1 is 0. So which implies you can say that sigma 1 1 minus sigma 1 2 sigma 2 2 inverse sigma 2 1 upon sigma 1 1 equal to 0, but sigma 1 1 is variance. So if you take right hand side, so which implies this quantity sigma 1 1 minus sigma 1 2 sigma 2 2 inverse sigma 2 1 is 0. But we know that what is the variance of this? This is the variance of x1. And what is this? What is this? It is a anyone? तो बता सकता है क्या है? Or can we write in this way? Expectation of x1 minus sigma 1 2 sigma 2 2 inverse x2 whole square is equal to 0. So if you find a, because we know that expectation of x1 is 0, expectation of x2 is 0. So what is this quantity actually? It is a expectation of x1 square, then what is that? What is this? We have in earlier lecture we have obtained that if you minimize this quantity, then what happen? You will get the beta 2 cap is equal to sigma 2 2 inverse sigma 2 1. So that means this is actually you are getting this quantity. It is as good as the by minimizing this quantity. And when you're minimizing this quantity, you can write it as a probability that x1 minus sigma 1 2 sigma 2 2 inverse x2 whole square is equal to 0 is 1 almost everywhere. So that suggests that it is a probability that x1, if you take the square root, it is x1 equal to sigma 1 2 sigma 2 2 inverse x2 with probability 1. So when the correlation coefficient is multiple correlation coefficient is 1, when the x1 takes sigma 1 2 to 2 inverse x2 almost everywhere. So it is suggesting that the x1 and the predicted values are same. That is x1 and predicted value of x1. What is predicted value of x1? ब्रैकेट में आप लिख सकते हैं सिग्मा 1 2 सिग्मा 2 2 इनवर्स x2 are same. Then the row 1 2 3 3 is 1. So when your multiple correlation coefficient are same, when the x1, that is observed value, and the predicted values are same, then you send that the correlation between x1 and then x1 and the set of variables or the set of vector x2 is 0, 0 is 1. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
हाँ, आपका कोई जवाब नहीं आ रहा है, हाँ ना, तो मुझे लगा कि okay. Now we will see the third property. As rho is 1 2 3 p, that is multiple correlation coefficient is defined by this formula sigma 1 2 sigma 2 2 inverse sigma 2 1 divided by sigma 1 1. Then 1 minus rho square 1 2 3 up to p is nothing but 1 minus sigma 1 2 sigma 2 2 inverse sigma 2 1 upon sigma 1 1. So that you can write it as a sigma 1 1 minus sigma 1 2 sigma 2 2 inverse sigma 2 1 upon sigma 1 1. Okay, but we know that what we know that the sigma is a variance covariance matrix, and we wrote the sigma as that sigma 1 1 sigma 1 2 sigma 2 1 sigma 2 2. Okay, so if you wish to find out the determinant of this matrix sigma, so it is the sigma 1 1 sigma 1 2 sigma 2 1 sigma 2 2. So to obtain this determinant of this partition matrices, we should have this particular result of matrix algebra, that A, B, C, D are, let us say, matrices, and if I wish to find out the determinant of this matrices, if both A and D are invertible, so suppose if I am saying that A is invertible, so A, determinant of A, then D minus C A inverse B. If I am saying that D is invertible, then I can write this as determinant of D, then A minus B D inverse C. B D inverse C. So you can use any one of this result. Now we know that what is the invertible in our setup? It is a sigma 2 2. So we can write it as a determinant of sigma 2 2. This result we will use. Then it is a sigma 1 1, that is A, minus sigma 1 2 sigma 2 2. D is sigma 2 2, the sigma 2 2 inverse sigma 2 1. Okay, so it means that I can write determinant of sigma 1 1 sigma 1 2 sigma 2 2 inverse sigma 2 1 is equal to, it is a sigma, the determinant of sigma divided by determinant of sigma 2 2. Why? Because these all are scalar value. If this is the scalar, so is it need to, because sigma 1 1 is a single quantity. Sigma 1 2, sigma 2 2 inverse sigma 2 1, it is also a scalar. So scalar minus, it is a scalar, so it is a scalar quantity. So there is no need to write this particular determinant. So I can write sigma 1 1 minus sigma 1 2, sigma 2 2 inverse sigma 2 1 equal to determinant of sigma divided by determinant of sigma 2 2. But I know I have this quantity in my multiple correlation coefficient. This is, so what I do, I'll just substitute the form. Okay, so what I can say, or I can also write in this way, 1 upon determinant of sigma 2 2 divided by determinant of sigma. I can write in this way, both are the same. Okay, so I'll just substitute, and this is nothing but, I can write it as a 1 upon sigma upper 1 1, and sigma upper 1 1 is nothing but where sigma upper 1 1 is the inverse of sigma 1 1. It is the inverse of sigma 1 1. So I can write the 1 minus rho square 1 2 3 up to p is equal to, I have a this quantity sigma 1 1 minus sigma 1 2 sigma 2 2 inverse sigma 2 1 upon sigma 1 1. But about this quantity, what I can write? I can write it as a 1 upon sigma upper 1 1, and this is sigma lower 1 1 is here. So this is nothing but the value of 1 minus rho square 1 2 3. Therefore, what is the rho square? Rho square 1 2 3 up to p is nothing but 1 minus 1 upon sigma 1 1 upper sigma 1 1 lower. So this is the square of the multiple correlation coefficients. Okay, so I can ask in usual notation, show that the square of multiple correlation coefficient is this. So that you have to use the above result and you can get this. I can ask in 2 marks such things. Now the fourth property, if sigma 2 2 has rank less than p minus 1. Why p minus 1? Because how many elements are there? P minus 1. It is a p minus 1 cross p minus 1 matrix. And if it is a non-singular, then rank is a p minus 1. But suppose your sigma 2 2 has the rank less than p minus 1. Okay, that is rank of sigma 2 2 is less than p minus 1. तो ये मैट्रिक्स कैसा हो गया? This matrix is called, then sigma 2 2 is positive semi-definite. Okay, sigma 2 2 is a positive semi-definite, and when sigma 2 2 is positive semi-definite, how will you find out the inverse? You cannot get the regular inverse, so you have to find out the G inverse. So sigma 2 2 bar is said to be a G inverse of sigma 2 2. So now what is the correlation coefficient in this setup? If you wish to find out the multiple correlation coefficient Okay, so when you regress x1, so regress x1 on x2, x3 up to xp, then that regression is linear function of the gamma dash x2, where gamma dash is nothing but it is a vector of beta j, or you can say let us say beta dash x2. Don't confuse yourself. So beta dash x2, and how many elements are there? It is a p minus 1 element. It is 1 2 p minus 1 elements beta j xj, but it is not a full rank. So what is the rank? So let us say if I am saying that rank is s, then this p minus 1 having the s, so it is j running from 1 to s b beta j xj, and this difference, तो हमने कहा था कि how we obtain the estimate of this by minimizing this quantity, तो यहाँ पे इसलिए इसको गामा कहा था, ठीक है, तो क्वांटिटी गामा डैश x2 square. So if you minimize with respect to gamma, what will you get? You will get the estimate of gamma as a gamma dash cap x2. And what is the gamma dash? This is nothing but in our setup earlier we have a sigma 2 inverse. 2 inverse की जगह पे क्या आएगा? Sigma 2 bar sigma 1, and this is nothing but the x2. So estimate of the regression x1 on x2 xp is nothing but sigma 2 bar sigma 1 x2, and therefore the multiple correlation coefficient between x1 and x1 on x2 x3 up to xp is nothing but square root of sigma 1 2, इनवर्स नहीं है तो क्या आएगा? sigma 2 बार sigma 1 and divided by sigma 1. So this is called the multiple correlation coefficients. Now fifth property, multiple correlation coefficient is always lies between 0 to 1. Why? Why we say that multiple correlation coefficient is always lies between 0 to 1? So what is the multiple correlation coefficient? It is a sigma 1 2 3 up to p is nothing but square root of sigma 1 2 sigma 2 inverse sigma 1 upon sigma 1. So what is the sigma 1 2? Sigma 2 inverse sigma 1. So this is nothing but the, actually, if you are finding the variance of x1 cap, what is the x1 cap? Variance of x1 cap means it is the estimated value of x1. So how will you obtain estimated value of x1? It is by the just obtaining the estimate of the regression coefficient beta, and the substitute you can get this is the estimate of x1. So it is a beta cap transpose x2. Now what happened in this setup? What is that beta cap transpose? It is a, what is beta? Beta cap is sigma 2 inverse sigma 1 and their transpose, and this is x2. So what is this? If you take the transpose outside in the variance, it is a sigma 1 2 sigma 2 2 inverse, because this is invertible, into variance of x2, and दूसरी साइड क्या आएगा, it is a sigma 2 2 inverse sigma 2 1. Now what is the variance of x2? It is a sigma 2 2. So this is sigma 2 2 inverse sigma 2 1, and this has become the identity. So what will you get? It is a sigma 1 2 sigma 2 2 inverse sigma 2 1. So therefore rho 1 2 3 p is nothing but, actually it is a square root of variance of x1 cap upon sigma 1 1. So this is variance, it is also positive. This is variance of x1 cap, it is also positive, and because both are greater than 0, they cannot be negative. Therefore, the rho is always greater, lies between 0 to 1. Okay, rho is lies between 0 to 1. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now next correlation we can talk about the partial correlation. We have studied at the BSc level that the partial correlation nothing but, if we have a, let us say, x1 x2 x3 up to xp variables are there, and if I'm interested to find out the correlation between the x1 and x2, given that x3 x2 xp are fixed, okay, so I'm only interested to study the impact between the correlation between these two. When the rest of variable are fixed, then this correlation is said to be a partial correlation coefficient. So what you can do, you can find out, or you can say that you find out the correlation between, you can just find out the regression of x1 on x2, x3 up to xp, regression of x2 on x x3, x4 up to xp, and these are said to be residue. So residue, if you find out the correlation between the residue of regression of x1 on x2, x3 up to xp, x2 on x3, x2 up to p, and x2 on 3, 4, p, x3, x4, xp, then it is said to be a partial correlation. So that we will see. In short, partial correlation is that I am interested to find out the correlation between two variables by fixing all other variables as a, by fixing all other variables. So let you have given x, x1, x2, x3 up to xp. Now what you do, you can partition into the two part. You call them as a, it has the 1 1 element and it has a p minus 2 element. So you call them as a x1, x2, and x3. So this is a 1 1 and p minus 2 element. So it means that if you find out the variance, here we assume that expectation of x is 0. Okay, so there is no issue. But if you find out the variance of x, what will you get in variance of x? In variance of x, you can get variance of x1, x2, x3, and x1, x2, x3 transpose. Okay, so how will you get? It is a variance of x1 square This is x1 x2. This is a x1 x3 transpose. This is a x2 x1. This multiply x2 with now x2. This is x2 square. This x2 multiply this x3. It is a xt x2 x3 transpose. This x3 multiply this x1. It is a x3 x1. Sorry, this is expectation, not the variance. This is expectation. And this is x3 x1. This is a x3 x2, and this is a x3 x3 transpose. So if you take expectation inside, expectation of x1 is nothing but it is giving the variance, so we call them as a sigma 1 1. Expectation of x1 x2, it is a sigma 1 2. This is called sigma 1 3. This is a sigma 2 1. This is a sigma 2 2. This is sigma 2 3. This is sigma 3 1, sigma 3 2, and this is the sigma 3 3. So capital sigma is used when it is a simply expectation between the two vectors or one variable or another vector. And sigma 1 1, sigma 1 2, sigma 2 1, sigma 2, it is purely a scalar. Okay. So this is you have. Now you are partitioning the matrices in this part. Okay, so we will see that. So here I am saying that sigma ij is nothing but covariance between xi, xj, ij equal to 1 2. So if you are finding the I equal to 1, j equal to 1, that is the covariance between x1, x1, it is called variance of x1, or it is also known as expectation of x1 square. It is known as the sigma 1 1. If I am saying that sigma I3, it is nothing but the covariance between, or it is expected value of x1 comma x3 transpose. And if I am saying that the sigma 3i, it is nothing but covariance between x3 and xi. In both case, I equal to 1 2. So if I say that I equal to 1, sigma 3 1, it is nothing but covariance between x3 and x1. So you can see that this is the covariance between x3 and x1. This is the covariance between the x3 and x2. Okay, and sigma 3 3 is nothing but it is simply a covariance between x3 and x3. Okay, so it is x3 x3, that means it is a expectation of x3 x3 transpose. Okay, is that fine?
Yes, sir.
So now let us consider. So these are all notation we have developed first, because now we will use the notation. Let us consider the regression of x1 on x3 x4 up to xp. So now we are considering regression of x1 on x3 x2 xp. Then what is the then variance of x1 x3? Variance of x1 x3 is nothing but it is a expectation of x1 x3, and this is the expectation of x1 x3. It is this the transpose, and this can be written as the sigma 1 1, sigma 1 3, sigma 3 1, and sigma 3 3. So if you say that let that regression equation x1 is equal to beta 1 transpose x3. Then what is the beta 1 cap? So we have seen earlier, जैसे हमने सिर्फ दो पार्ट किए थे, we have just regress x1 on x2 and we have find out the estimate of beta as sigma 22 inverse sigma 21. So here instead of 21, what is it is a 33. So it is a sigma 33 inverse, and what is that? It is a sigma 31. So what is the regression line? So regression line is x1 on x3 is given by x1 equal to beta 1 cap transpose x3, and what is the beta 1 cap transpose? It is a beta 1 cap is sigma 33 inverse sigma 31. So I can write sigma 33 inverse sigma 31, the transpose, then x3. So if I take the transpose, sigma 31 transpose is sigma 13, and this is a sigma 33 inverse because it is a symmetric. So it is transpose is remain the same. So this is the regression line x1 on x3, and it is given by sigma 13 sigma 33 inverse x3. Now similarly, okay, then what is the residue? So we have obtained the residue in the multiple correlation. So residue is residue will be, we denote as a x1 dot, it is a regression of x1 on 3 4 5 up to p. So it is denoted as x1 dot 3 4 up to p is nothing but it is original observation x1 minus corresponding estimate. So what is the estimate? It is a sigma 13 sigma 33 inverse x3. So this is nothing but the residue of x1 on x3 up to x4. Similarly, if you are finding the, if you take the regression of x2 on x3, what is that? That is nothing but x2 equal to sigma 13 sigma, sorry, sigma 23 sigma 33 inverse x3, and the corresponding residue is x2 dot 34 p is nothing but x2 minus sigma 22, sorry, sigma 23 sigma 33 inverse x3. So this is the residue. So what we obtain? The residue on regression x1 on x3. This is the residue of regression of x2 on x3. Okay, because x3 is inverting, x3 is a vector of p minus 2 element, and the variance covariance matrix is given by the sigma 33, and which is invertible, so we can write it as a sigma 33 inverse. So these are two residues are given. Now we will define the partial correlation coefficient. So what is the definition? Definition of partial correlation coefficient. The partial correlation coefficient between x1 and x2 when x3, that is x3 x4 up to xp is held constant or fixed, held fixed, is, so what is the partial correlation coefficient? The partial correlation coefficient between x1 and x2 when x3 held constant. So what happened? We have a two regression x1 on x3 and x2 on x3. And I am interested to find out the correlation between the x1 and x2 when x3 is held constant is known as partial correlation. So is a simple correlation coefficient between x1 3 4 up to p and x2 dot 3 4 up to p. So it is a simple correlation between the residues of regression x1 on x3, x4, xp and regression of x2 residue of regression of x2 on x3, x4 up to xp, and it is denoted by it is a correlation between x1 and x2 when 3, 4, p are held constant. It is a rho 1, 2 dot 3, 4 up to p. So when I am writing 1, 2 dot, it means it is a correlation between simple correlation between x1 and x2 when rest of the variable are fixed, and it is known as a partial correlation coefficient. So the partial correlation coefficient is given by rho 1, 2 dot 3, 4 up to p. ये डॉट सेंटर में आएगा, ये डॉट नीचे लिखना है so that दोनों डॉट मिक्स ना हो. It is nothing but the simple correlation. So correlation is nothing but covariance between residue of x1 on x2, x3 up to xp and residue on ये x3 से शुरू होगा 1 dot x3 up to xp and x of 2 dot 3, 4 up to p divided by the corresponding standard deviation. So it is a square root of variance of x1 3, 4 p into variance of x2 dot 3, 4 up to p. So it is a simple correlation between these two. So now we will find out what is the form of the covariance and what is the form of the variance. Okay. Is it visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
So in your whatever the materials I have sent, you have to just here keep x3 instead of x1. Okay. So it is a correlation, simple correlation between x1 and x2 when x3 held fixed. So I'll just try to show you directly over here. So covariance between the x1.34p and x2.34p is nothing but, because we know that the residue earlier when we obtained the multiple correlation coefficient, we obtained that when you find out the residue means it is the error, or sorry, it is the difference between the observed and predicted. So what is the observed value of x1? It is x1, and what is the predicted value? It is a sigma 1,3 sigma 3,3 inverse x3. So when you find out the residue, it is a 0. So that we have used that property. So it is expectation of residual is 0. So here this is a residual, this is also residuals. So expectation is 0. So expectation of covariance is nothing but expectation of this into this minus expectation of this into expectation of this. But this expectation part is 0. So you can have only expectation of x1.34p, x2.34p. Now what is x1.34p? So we know that it is a x1 minus sigma 1,3 sigma 3,3 inverse x3, and x2.34p we know that it is nothing but x2 minus sigma 2,3 sigma 3,3 inverse x3 transpose. Now we just simply take this transpose. What happen? This will come outside to x2 as it is. This x3 transpose I can write it this, and sigma 3 3 inverse because it is a symmetric, so it is as it is, and this will go this side, so it is a sigma 2 3 transpose is sigma 3 2. Now what happen? I will simply multiply this with this bracket and then apply the expectation. So x1 multiply x2, and then I'm applying expectation, that is the expectation of x1 x2. Now x1 multiply x3 transpose. So this part is constant. So what is the expectation of x1 x3 transpose? We denote it as a sigma 1 3. So it is sigma 1 3 sigma 3 3 inverse. Sorry. Let us this multiply. It is sigma 1 3 sigma 3 3 inverse x3 multiply with x2. So sigma 1 3 is outside constant, sigma 3 3 inverse is outside, and it is a expectation of x3 x2, and then here will multiply x1 with this quantity. So expectation of x1 x3 transpose sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 2 is this side. Okay, and now you multiply this with this quantity. What happen? Sigma 1 3 sigma 3 3 inverse outside, then expectation of x3 transpose, and then this sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 2 is this. So how many total steps are there? Sorry, terms are there? It is a 1 and 2. So it is a, this is a 1 and 2. So how many? 2 into 2, that is the 4 terms. So you can see 1, second, third, and 4 terms. Now what is the sigma expectation of x1 x2? It is a sigma 1 2. What is the expectation of x3 x3? It is a sigma 3 2. So you can see that sigma 1 3 sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 2. Then what is the expectation of x1 x3 transpose? It is a sigma 1 3. So it is sigma 1 3 sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 2. And what is the expectation of x3 x3 transpose? It is a sigma 3 3. So this sigma 1 3 sigma 3 3 inverse, it is nothing but sigma 3 3, and then sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 2. So what happens? This becomes the identity. Now this is a one and this is the another, so that is a twice of, I can write it as a twice, and this is become identity. So this is a sigma 1 3 sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 2. So this is the minus 2 time, this is the 1 time, so that is 1 time is cancel out. So you will have remained the sigma 1 2 minus sigma 1 3 sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 2. Okay, any questions up to this?
No, sir.
It's very simple. Okay, just we have to. So this is we obtain the covariance. Now we wish to find out the variance. So how to find out variance? So variance is nothing but expectation of x square minus expectation of x whole square. But in our setup, expectation of residue is 0. So now I have to find out expectation of this into this. So it is a square. So I just write together nearby to each other. So what is x1 dot 34p? It is nothing but x1 minus sigma 1 3 sigma 3 3 inverse x3, and this is a what is this? It is a sigma because this residue has how many elements? Suppose it has okay element. So you can write here. So this is nothing but x1 minus sigma 1 3 sigma 3 3 inverse x3 transpose. Suppose this is nothing but the scalar. Then if you write in the form of transpose, there is no issue. But now multiply this x1 with this, that is x1 square. Now it is a sigma 1 3 is constant, sigma 3 3 inverse, expectation of x3 x1 minus. So why minus? Because 1 multiply with this. So this is the transpose. So this x3 transpose is outside. So it is a expectation of x1 x3 transpose, and then sigma 3 3 inverse, then sigma 3 1, because we have to take the transpose of this, and then minus minus plus. So sigma 1 3 sigma 3 3 inverse outside, expectation of x3, then it is x3 transpose, and then because you have to take transpose of this, it is a sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 1. So this is nothing but the sigma 3 3. So that is cancel out. So you can have a sigma 1 3 sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 1, and here it is a twice time. So what will you get? You will get the one time sigma 1 1 minus sigma 1 3 sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 1. So similarly, for a variance of x2 dot 34p, you can have a sigma 2 2 minus sigma 2 3 sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 2. So just substitute this variance and covariance formula into the partial correlation. So what is the covariance? Covariance is nothing but the sigma 1 2 minus sigma 1 3 sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 2. And what is the variance of x1 dot 34p? It is nothing but sigma 1 1 minus sigma 1 3 sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 1. Similarly, I will substitute this, so I can have this formula of a partial correlation between the x1 and x2 when the x3 held fixed. Now, but what is this sigma 1 2 minus sigma 1 3? It is saying that it is a cofactor of a sigma 1 2. Okay, so let us try to identify how to find out the cofactor. So we know that what is the sigma? Sigma is nothing but this. Okay, so if I am taking the cofactor of sigma 2 1, so how to find out the cofactor? I have to remove this particular column and this particular row. So what are the element is that? It is a sigma 1 2, sigma 1 3, sigma 3 2, and sigma 3 3. So we know that it has the sign plus, minus, plus. Similarly, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus. So this has the minus sign. So as a cofactor of sigma 2 1 is, what is that? This quantity divided by the determinant of a sigma. So because sigma 1 2 and sigma 2 1 both are symmetric, so you can write that sigma 1 2 is nothing but the inverse of this element. Inverse of this element is nothing but, how will you obtain? By the cofactor of sigma 2 1 divided by the determinant of a sigma. So what is the cofactor of sigma 2 1? So this is what, this minus sign is not there. Okay, minus sign is just outside. So how will you find out the things? So we know that again the determinant of ABCD, it is a determinant of D, A minus BD inverse C. So here D is sigma 3 3. So can we write determinant of sigma 3 3 into determinant of A is sigma 1 2, sigma 1 2 minus sigma 1 3, sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 2. So we can write this. Okay. So this minus side is as is, it is a sigma 3, determinant of sigma 3 3, determinant of sigma 1 2 minus sigma 1 3, sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 2, and this determinant of sigma is there. So because this is the scalar quantity, so I can just write in the, remove the determinant. So it is a sigma 1 2 minus sigma 1 3 sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 2 equal to into minus sigma, a determinant of sigma 3 3 upon sigma. So this can be written as, but this, how we write this? We write as a cofactor of sigma 1 2. So sigma 1 2 equal to this. So if I am taking this on a left hand side, this quantity on a left hand side, so what happen? It is a minus sigma 1 2 into determinant of sigma divided by determinant of sigma 3 3. So this is sigma 1 2 minus sigma 1 3 sigma 3 3 inverse is minus 3 2 is this. So it is nothing but our covariance. You can see that sigma 1 2 minus sigma 1 3 sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 2. So whenever here it is a sigma 1 2, it means that I have to use the inverse of the sigma 1 2, and to obtain the inverse of sigma 1 2 I have to use the cofactor sigma 2 1. Okay, similarly if I wish to find out the variance, So what is the cofactor of sigma 1 1? तो सिग्मा 1 1 का इनवर्स आपको ढूंढना है, तो यू रिक्वायर द कोफैक्टर ऑफ द सिग्मा 1 1 डिवाइड बाय द डिटरमिनेंट ऑफ द सिग्मा. So what is this? So again we'll go back to this. Whenever you wish to find out the cofactor of this, what happen? You have to, where this entry is available, it is available in this row, it is available in this column. So left this row and column where the sigma 1 1 is there. So just cofactor is nothing but this determinant of this divided by the determinant of sigma, and this has the sign plus, so we can keep it as a plus. So you can see that it is a sigma 1 1 is nothing but cofactor of sigma 1 1, and cofactor of sigma 1 1 is nothing but sigma 2 2, sigma 2 3, sigma 3 2, sigma 3 3. They are determinant, and this can be written as a determinant of sigma 3 3 in bracket sigma 2 2 minus sigma 2 3, sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 2. So you can see that. So just substitute this coefficient over here, and this, keep this side. So what will you can write sigma 2 2 minus sigma 2 3 inverse sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 2 equal to sigma 1 1, that is inverse of sigma 1 1 sigma and determinant of sigma 3. Similarly, what is the sigma 2 2 inverse? So here just you have to substitute the, wherever the 2, you have to substitute the 1. So it is a sigma 2 2 sigma upon sigma 3 3 है. यहाँ पे आप आ गए 1 2 की जगह पे 1 सब्स्टिट्यूट करो तो you can get this. Now use this equation 1 2 3 4 and substitute into correlation, so you can have this. Now this is the determinant of sigma 3, it is a scalar. This is also a scalar, so it is a square, but square root is again same. This will cancel out, so your partial correlation between x1 and x2 is given by minus sigma 1 2. When I am saying that sigma 1 2, it means that it is the inverse of the sigma 1 2 divided by the square root of inverse of sigma 1 1 and inverse of sigma 2 2. So other way you can find out, what you do if you wish to find out the partial correlation between the x1 and x2 when other half held fixed, you just find out the regular inverse of this 3 by 3 matrices and use the quantity, this, wherever the quantity in a inverse, the position will be this, so that is called the sigma 1 2. So use this and use this and use this, but which in an inverse matrix, that position. So that takes that value and just substitute in this formula, you can easily find out the inverse of this. You can easily find out the partial correlation. So partial correlation is nothing but it is a minus of inverse of sigma 1 2 divided by the square root of inverse of sigma 1 1 and inverse of sigma 2 2. So if you take the square, it is nothing but rho square 1 2.34 p is equal to sigma 1 2 inverse square divided by sigma 1 1 inverse sigma 2 2 inverse. So if you take 1 minus, what happen? You can write this 1 minus this quantity. Now you take this inside this side, so it is a sigma 1 1 sigma 2 2 minus sigma 1 2 whole square divided by sigma 1 1 sigma 2 2 square. Okay, so this is another way to show what is the partial correlation between the x1 and x2 when x3 held fixed. So what is x3? X3 is nothing but there are other variables which we have applied on a regression. So now if I wish to prove the relation between the multiple correlation and partial correlation, okay, so it is also very simple. Let us how to show that what is the relation between the multiple correlation and the partial correlation. What is multiple correlation? It is a correlation between x1 and some linear function of x2. Okay, so whenever you are finding the regression models x1 on x2 x3 up to xp, then whatever the correlation you are getting, it is nothing but the multiple correlation coefficient. So it is a multiple correlation coefficient is another way. It is the correlation between the one variable and the set of other variables. Partial correlation is nothing but it is a correlation between the two variables x1 x2 when others are held fixed. Okay, or it is also known as it is a simple correlation between the residue of regression x1 on x3 and residue of regression of x2 on x3, where x3 having the p minus 2 elements called x3 x4 up to xp. Now if I wish to find out what is the relation between the partial correlation and the multiple correlation, whatever sometimes in a competitive examination they give the relation, they give the multiple correlation, or sometimes they give the simple correlation and then say that obtain the multiple correlation from this, obtain the partial correlation from this. So first we derive the relation between the multiple correlation coefficient and the partial correlation coefficient. So let x be a p-vector random variable whose mean is 0, and we know that the variance covariance matrix of x is given by the sigma, and it is a sigma 1 1, sigma 2 2, sigma 1 p up to sigma p1, sigma p2, sigma pp. So it is a p cross p matrices. Why? Because x is a p-vector random variable. Now if you wish to partition this sigma matrix S, so sigma 1 1, sigma 1 2, sigma 2 1, sigma 2 2, and capital sigma 1 3 is nothing but it is the covariance between the x1 and the vector x3. Sigma 2 3 is nothing but it is a covariance between the x2 and vector x3. 3 1 is nothing but it is a covariance between x3 transpose x1. This is a x3 transpose x2, and this is the covariance between x3 and x3 transpose. So why? Because I wish to establish the relation between the partial correlation and multiple correlation. So I will partition the sigma matrix in this way. Now then if I am saying that what is sigma, so you say it is a, this is called b, this is called c, and this is called d. So what is that formula? Determinant of d. Then you write the matrix A. So A is nothing but you have written this minus B. What is B? So you say that sigma 1 3, sigma 2 3 is a B. Then the inverse of B, that is sigma 3 3 inverse, and again you can write the C. So that is the sigma 3 1, sigma 3 2. Okay. Now you can write this as a multiplication: sigma 1 3, sigma 3 3 inverse, sigma 3 1. Sigma 1 3, sigma 3 3 inverse, sigma 3 2, sigma 2 3, sigma 3 3 inverse, sigma 3 1, and sigma 2 3, sigma 3 3 inverse, sigma 3 2 here. So it is a 1 cross, it is a 2 cross 1, this is a 1 cross 2. So what happened? The result is a 2 cross 2. So that is how it is a 2 cross 2 here. Now because we know that in determinant, if you just find out the subtract of two determinants is nothing but it is a determinant of the sub element wise, the subtraction of. Okay, so it is a sigma 1 1 minus sigma 1 3, sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 1, sigma 1 2 minus sigma 1 3, sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 2, sigma 2 1 minus this, sigma 2 2 minus this is here. So now I have a determinant of the capital sigma is equal to capital sigma 3 3 into determinant of this. So how will you find out this determinant? So I wish to find out the sigma 2 2 inverse. So sigma 2 2 inverse nothing but it is a cofactor of sigma 2 2 divided by sigma. तो हमने इसमें देखा है. If I wish to find out the inverse of this, what happen? I have to find out the cofactor of this divided by the determinant of the sigma. So to find out the cofactor, what happen? I will just forget this column and this row. So what are the element? It is a sigma 1 1, sigma 1 3, sigma 3 1 upon sigma 3 2, 3 3, and upon capital sigma. So that is what it is written: sigma 1 1, sigma 1 3, sigma 3 1, and sigma 3 3 upon this. And again use the same formula of determinant of ABCD partition matrices, and sigma d is invertible. Here our setup sigma 3 3 invertible, so it is determinant of sigma 3 sigma 1 1 minus sigma 1 3 sigma 3 1 inverse sigma 3 1. Okay, and this. So what is this sigma 1 1 minus sigma 1 3 inverse equal to? That we have already obtained in the previous example. Okay, so that is the determinant of sigma upon sigma 3 3 sigma 2 2. Similarly, if I wish to find out the cofactor of this, it is nothing but this. ओके, तो ये हम सारा चीज जानते हैं, सिग्मा 1 2 का भी हमने ये ड्राइव किया है. तो व्हाट आई डू, आई विल जस्ट सब्स्टिट्यूट wherever this quantity is there, sigma 1 1 minus sigma 1 3 sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 1, I will substitute it by this quantity. Similarly, I have a sigma, wherever the quantity sigma 2 2 minus this, I will substitute this. Okay, so I will substitute this all quantity as per this, and then what I do, I will simply find out determinant. So sigma determinant of sigma 3 3 as it is, this is nothing but sigma 2 2 sigma 1 1, and this is a square, this is minus minus plus, so that is also a square of sigma determinant sigma upon determinant sigma 3 3, and this minus this. So what is that? It is a sigma 1 2, and sigma 2 1 and sigma 1 2 both are the same because they are symmetric. So I can write it as a sigma 1 2 square, and this square is outside. So what I can write, this determinant of sigma 3 square is here, but here it is a single quantity, so it is cancel out, so you can have only one term. It is a sigma inverse of sigma 2 2 inverse of sigma 1 1 minus inverse of sigma 1 2 square determinant of this, and that is nothing but the your sigma. So this one will be cancel out with this. So what happen? And this, if you keep this side, so it is a determinant of sigma 3 3 and divide by determinant of sigma, and this is nothing but the sigma 1 1 inverse sigma 2 2 inverse minus sigma 1 2 inverse square is given by this quantity. So now we know this, the partial correlation between x1 x2 and x3 held constant is nothing but minus sigma inverse of sigma 1 2 square root of inverse of sigma 1 1 inverse of sigma 2 2. Now if I am taking the square and subtracting this from 1 minus, so what I can get, I can get this quantity, because 1 minus sigma 1 1 2 square divided by sigma 1 1 sigma 2 2. So if I multiply with 1, so it is a sigma 1 1 sigma 2 2 minus sigma 1 2 square divided by sigma 1 1 sigma 2 2, that is inverse of. But now I know this quantity, what is this inverse of sigma 1 1 sigma 2 2, this, so that is nothing but this I have obtained, determinant of sigma 3 upon determinant of sigma, and I have already obtained the form of sigma 1 1 and sigma 2 2. So I just substitute the same thing, this is determinant of sigma 3 3 upon determinant of sigma inverse of sigma 1 1 sigma 2 2. So if I wish to find out the inverse of sigma 2 2, it is a cofactor of sigma 2 2 divided by this, and inverse of sigma 1 1 is nothing but cofactor of sigma 1 1 divided by the determinant of this. So what I do, just I will take the sigma 1. Okay, so this is sigma determinant of sigma 3 3 divided by determinant of sigma. Okay, and this I am writing sigma cofactor of this, so this determinant will be cancel out. So what is that? Let us I'll show you what we write at the sigma 1 1. So sigma 1 1 sigma 1 1 you can write as sigma 1 1. If you take this side, it is a sigma 3 3 upon sigma into this quantity, and similarly we can have a sigma 2 2. So just substitute this directly, no need again to obtain. यहाँ पे क्वांटिटी है, उसको सीधा सब्स्टिट्यूट करो। दिस इज तो सिग्मा 1 1 की जगह पे आप क्या रख सकते हैं? इट इज ए सिग्मा 3 अपॉन सिग्मा, देन ओके, ये मैं आपको उधर स्लाइड में दिखाता हूँ, वरना कंफ्यूज हो जाएंगे। So what quantity we have? We have this quantity 1 minus rho square 1 2 3 4 p is equal to, और यहाँ पे 1 2 डॉट 3 कीजिए, हमने ब्रैकेट यूज नहीं किया है, is equal to we have a determinant of sigma 3 3 divided by determinant of sigma and sigma 1 1 inverse sigma 2 2 inverse. Okay, this we have. So we can write this. And now what will you write about this? What will you write about the sigma 1 1? ये हम जानते हैं, sigma 1 1 is equal to, we can have sigma 1 2 minus sigma 2 3 sigma, sorry, sigma 1 1 equal to, we have a sigma 2 2 minus inverse of sigma 1 1 is nothing but we have a sigma 2 2 minus sigma 2 3 sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 2, okay, into, what is that? It is a sigma 3 3 अपॉन सिग्मा, ये आपके पास है सिग्मा 1 1 की जगह पे, एंड सिग्मा 2 2 की जगह पे आपके पास क्या है? तो वो पूरी क्वांटिटी है। तो व्हाट विल यू राइट? क्या लिख सकते हैं? इसको हम सिग्मा 1 1 को एज इट इज रखो, हम सिर्फ सिग्मा 2 2 को सब्स्टिट्यूट करते हैं। तो यू कीप दिस एज इट इज सिग्मा 1 1। व्हाट इज सिग्मा 2 2? सिग्मा 2 2 इज सिग्मा 1 1 माइनस sigma 1 3 sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 1 into, it is a sigma 3 3 sigma divided by sigma. Okay, so this will be cancel out and this will be cancel out. So what will you get? What will you get? You will get 1 upon sigma 1 1 into sigma 1 1 minus sigma 1 3 sigma 3 3 inverse sigma 3 1. ठीक है, ये एक आपके पास बचा। नाउ वी नो द रिलेशन बिटवीन द पार्शियल कोरिलेशन। ये हमने किसके लिए निकाला था? दिस इज नथिंग बट माई 1 माइनस रो 1 2 स्क्वायर डॉट 3 4 पी। ओके, तो ये मुझे मिल रहा है, बट आई नो द कोरिलेशन बिटवीन द multiple correlation. I know this result 1 2 3 p whole square is 1 upon sigma 1 1 into sigma 1 1. This I know, ये मैं जानता हूँ। ठीक है, तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि 1 अपॉन सिग्मा 1 1 सिग्मा 1 1 is equal to 1 minus rho square 1 2 3 up to p। ठीक है, इसकी जगह पे हम क्या लिख सकते हैं, 1 - इसकी फॉर्मूला हम जानते हैं, इट इज ए सिग्मा 1 2, सॉरी, हाँ, इट इज ए सिग्मा 1 2 सिग्मा 2 2 इनवर्स सिग्मा 2 1 डिवाइड बाय sigma 1 1। So we can write it as a sigma 1 1 minus sigma 1 2 sigma 2 2 inverse sigma 2 1 divided by sigma 1। ठीक है, तो ये हमारे पास चीज है किसके लिए, 1/sigma 1 1 raised to sigma 1 1। लेकिन हमारे पास यहाँ पे क्या है, दिस इज इक्वल टू दिस क्वांटिटी। तो सिग्मा 1 1 सिग्मा 1 3 सिग्मा 3 1 की जगह पे हम क्या लिख सकते हैं, एनीवन तो बता सकता है। यस, एनीवन। तो ये क्वांटिटी अपने पास है, दिस क्वांटिटी इक्वल टू दिस। ओके, सही है। तो इसकी जगह पे आप क्या लिख सकते हो, व्हाट विल यू राइट, दिस इक्वल टू, ये यहाँ पे है तो क्या होगा, ये इधर जाएगा तो ये उधर जाएगा तो ये आएगा नीचे आएगा सिग्मा 1 1 अपॉन दिस। तो कैन आई राइट दिस बाय इसको मैं क्या लिख सकता हूँ, आई हैव दिस क्वांटिटी तो आई कैन राइट सिग्मा 1 1 माइनस सिग्मा 1 2 सिग्मा 2 2 इनवर्स सिग्मा 2 1, ओके, इज इक्वल टू, आई कैन राइट तो ये क्या है सिग्मा, ये आपका सिग्मा 1 1 माइनस सिग्मा 1 3 सिग्मा 3 3 इनवर्स इक्वल टू आप क्या लिख सकते हैं, इसको इसके साथ मल्टीप्लाई करो तो क्या मिलेगा, दिस डिवाइड बाय सिग्मा 1 1, ऐसा है ना। तो अपने पास यहाँ पे क्या है, ये तो सिग्मा 1 1 की जगह पे आप क्या लिख सकते हैं, बताइए। ओके, मैं इसमें आ जाता हूँ सीधा। तो दिस कोरिलेशन नियम जानते हैं, ये आपको क्या मिला यहाँ से, दिस इज ए 1 माइनस रो 1 2 3 डॉट पी, ये वाला क्वांटिटी यहाँ ले जाएंगे तो क्या मिलेगा, ये वाला पूरा सिग्मा 1 1 माइनस सिग्मा 1 3 सिग्मा 3 3 इनवर्स अपॉन सिग्मा 1 1 इंटू 1 अपॉन सिग्मा 1 1 सिग्मा 1 1। तो ये 1 अपॉन क्या है, इसको हमने कहा है ये, तो दिस इज द कोरिलेशन इक्वल टू दिस क्वांटिटी इनटू दिस, बिकॉज ये उधर गया डिवाइड बाय ये, ओके। एंड इसको हम क्या लिख सकते हैं, इट इज ए 1 माइनस सिग्मा 1 3 सिग्मा 3 3 इनवर्स सिग्मा 3 1 अपॉन सिग्मा 1। तो इसको हम क्या कहेंगे, इट इज ए, दिस इज ए मल्टीपल कोरिलेशन कोएफिशिएंट। तो ये क्या हुआ, इट इज 1 माइनस रो स्क्वायर 1 2 3 पी इज इक्वल टू 1 माइनस रो 1 2 3 पी इंटू 1 माइनस रो स्क्वायर 1 3 अप टू पी। So can we write the 1 minus rho 1 square 2 3p is equal to 1 minus rho square 1 2 dot 3 4 p into this. So using this equation, we can have the 1 आप अगर 1 minus rho 1 square 3 4 p is nothing but 1 minus rho square 1 3 4 p is equal to 1 minus this. So this trend will be continue. What will you write? आपको ये मिला ना? What you get? This is the आपको ये मिला किसके ऊपर से कि भाई this is the row 1 2 3 p is nothing but it is a multiple correlation coefficient square when x1 regress on x2 x3 xp. यहाँ पे आपको क्या मिला? It is a partial correlation between x1 x2 when x3 x4 xp held constant. ये आपका क्या है? When x1 regress on x3 x4 xp. तो यहाँ पे 2 है, यहाँ पे भी 2 3 है. तो हम क्या करेंगे कि अगर मैं इसको लेता हूँ कि भाई 1 3 4 है, तो ये क्या होगा? 1 को 3 4 पे ऊपर रिग्रेस करूंगा तो क्या होगा? रो 1 3 हो जाएगा, ये 4 2 अप टू p हो जाएगा, और ये क्या होगा? 1 4 5 p. ठीक है, क्योंकि मैं 1 को 2 के ऊपर रिग्रेस नहीं कर रहा, 1 को 4 से लेके p के ऊपर कर रहा हूँ. तो दैट इज हाउ इट इज है दिस. तो इफ यू रिपीट दिस इन द सेम सेशन, तो यहाँ पे जहाँ पे 1 वाला है, you just substitute this and continue to proceed in the same procedure. You will get that the correlation between this as 1 minus rho 1 square 2 3 p is equal to 1 minus rho square 1 2 dot 3 p rho square 1 3 dot p up to rho square 1 p, क्योंकि अभी आगे कुछ बचेगा ही नहीं. Okay, so that is how the partial correlation is nothing but, okay, if you are trying to that, and you have to show that. So it is nothing but rho 1 2 3 dot p minus 1 up to 1 p 3 4 p minus 1 2 p 3 4 minus 1 square root of 1 minus rho square p 1 dot 3 4 up to. So this is you have to show that the partial correlation is nothing but it is the correlation between 1 to minus, ये actually p तक जाएगा, 1 से 3 4 p and 2 से 3 4 p, and then this is okay. If you have still any questions, then let me know. Hello, any questions?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, आपके if no questions, then we'll stop here.